Good morning, everyone. Those of you that are in Quiz Bowl, I think one or two of you are in Quiz Bowl. Hope yesterday went well for you. And Nolan, good luck at your track meet today. Yesterday, we looked at the uniqueness of Nebraska's state legislature. We are unique in three ways. We have a part-time legislature. One year, our legislature meets for 60 days. Another year, our legislature meets for just 90 days. Other states have that as well, a part-time legislature. But that's one thing that sets us apart. And then you add in the two very unique factors. One, we have a nonpartisan body. No Democrats, no Republicans in our state legislature. Just Nebraskans. Now, political parties, they try hard to get Democrats, Republicans the label, but our Constitution says no. No party affiliation considered in measures and considered in the structure and organization of our unicameral. And I just gave you the third one there. We have a unicameral. Only state legislature that has a one-house body. I'm really looking forward to taking you down there in a couple of weeks for you to see. Well, now that you're comfortable with the uniqueness of Nebraska state legislature, let's spend some time today looking at the organization and the structure of our state legislature. Our unicameral is organized into 49 districts. I have a map here for you that shows you exactly where the 49 districts are. Those of you that live in Dodge County live in District 15. Those of you that live here in Saunders County live in district number 23. You'll notice that District 23, land size-wise, is much larger than District 15. Why is that? Every 10 years, our districts are reapportioned, they're reshaped, the borders are refigured, because our state has a goal that each district is going to represent about the same number of people. And right now, that number is 35,000. So you see District 43 out there with Cherry County. That entire area of District 43, 35,000 people live in that area. Look at District number 37. What do you think that is? What city's there? Now look at the Omaha metropolitan area, and then look at Lincoln. I should have provided you some inset maps here. But you can see where Omaha and Lincoln, there's quite a few legislative districts there. Because remember, every legislative district has 35,000 people. Each district has one senator. Many people here in Nebraska get this term senator mixed up because Nebraska has 2 U.S. senators in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate. Senator Ben Sasse and Senator Deb Fischer represent Nebraska in Washington, D.C. But here at the state level, in our unicameral, we refer to our state legislators as state senators. To be a state senator, you have to be a resident within the district that you're going to represent, and you have to be 21 years old, and of course you have to be a legal citizen of the United States. A senator's term is 4 years. Here in Nebraska, just recently, we put term limits on our state senators. A senator is limited to 2 terms for 8 total years. Now you'll notice I put an asterisk next to that. in our Constitution, under this section that covers term limits, it also contains a provision that a state senator, once he or she has served 2 consecutive terms, can no longer serve in the state legislature. However, after sitting out 1 term, 4 years, that state senator can choose to run again. And if his or her constituents within that district would like that person to go again to Lincoln to represent them, then they can serve 2 more terms. 1 term, obviously, and they get reelected to serve another term. Now, we've spent quite a bit of time looking at the national government and how the leadership is chosen in Congress, either in the U.S. House or the U.S. Senate. Here in Nebraska, the 49 senators, by using secret ballot, in other words, not having to reveal who they voted for, but by using secret ballot, the 49 senators choose who the Speaker of the Legislature is going to be. The Speaker of the Legislature is basically like the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the Legislature leads proceedings and sets up the agenda, for the daily agenda. And then there's the state senators also choose the Committee on Committees. And it's the Committee on Committees that oversees the various committees within the state legislature. They're also the group that assigns committee assignments. And we've talked about how important those committee assignments are. Just like at the national level, committees are the backbone of the state legislature. In all actuality, that's where most of the work is done. State senators also choose an executive board. The executive board runs the day-to-day matters of the state legislature. So that's how Nebraska's legislature is organized. 49 districts. Each district has approximately 35,000 people in it. Every 10 years, the district borders are changed, so the districts say represent 35,000 people. 1 person, 1 vote is the concept. A state senator has to be 21 years old. They have to be a resident of the district that they represent, and they have to be a citizen of the United States. They serve a 4-year term. They can be reelected once elected twice to serve 2 terms. A state senator cannot run for a 3rd term. They must sit out. If after 4 years that former state senator decides to run again, they can run again. Well, who's your state senators? Again, it depends upon whether you live in Dodge County or Saunders County. If you live in Saunders County, you live in District 23, and Bruce Bosselman is your state senator. He was elected in 2017, and he sits on 2 committees, the Natural Resources Committee and the Transportation and Telecommunications Committee. You'll see him once in a while. Occasionally, you'll see him here at the school, because Cedar Bluffs obviously is in his district. When we travel down to the state capitol, he'll definitely want us to stop by his office, and he'll want to visit. So will Lynn Walls. See, if you live in Fremont, if you live in Dodge County, you live in District 15. Just like Senator Bosselman, Senator Walls was also elected in 2017. She sits on the Education Committee. She's also a member of the Natural Resources Committee, just like Senator Bosselman. If that name sounds familiar, Senator Walls her full-time job is working at Don Peterson and Associates in Fremont, and then she was very active. She was seen in the recent flooding in our area. Before we stop for the day with our discussion, we need to look at legislation that doesn't go through the legislature. Nebraska is, again, one of those states that's kind of unique. Here in Nebraska, we have 3 ways that you and I, just ordinary Nebraskans, can participate in our government. One of those ways is what we call an initiative. And an initiative is the making of a state law without the state legislature making the law. So, here's how it works. People who would like to see a state law that the state legislature won't make distribute a petition around the state. And if a certain number of people, and I have to apologize, I can't remember what that percent is. If a certain percent of voters in Nebraska sign that petition, that proposed law will be on the next ballot here in our state. And if over half the voters approve of that initiative, that proposed law becomes a law here in our state without ever having to go through the state legislature. Initiatives are a way for the ordinary Nebraskan to be able to get a law in the books that the state legislature just won't take action on. Then there's a referendum. A referendum is almost like the opposite of an initiative. A referendum is when the state of Nebraska, when the state legislature has passed a law that a majority of Nebraskans do not like. Again, there's the petition process. And if the required percent of Nebraska voters sign that petition, this referendum is put on the ballot, and the voters of Nebraska decide should that law that was passed by the state legislature stay a law. If the majority of Nebraskans who vote say no, that law is taken off of the books. The third way we have direct democracy in our state is by what we call a recall. A recall is when an elected official, either at the county level or the municipal level, is considered to be removed from office. We've had this happen here in Cedar Bluffs, where a member of our village board was recalled. Works the same way as an initiative or a referendum. A petition is passed around. If a certain percentage of the voters in that community decide to go with a recall, there is an election held, and the election basically says, should so-and-so be retained in office, keep their position, or should they be recalled? And if the majority of people in that area say that person needs to be recalled, then that person is removed from office. So 3 ways here in Nebraska that we practice direct democracy. Before we leave each other today, I made a mistake with everything that happened in the last couple of weeks with the flood. I forgot to give you an assignment. I need you to complete an iCivics game called We the Jury. Again, I should have given this to you last week or the week before, but with everything that happened, I forgot. You should have enough time to finish it right here in class, so you don't have to take it home. And if you have to take it home, I apologize. Would you please submit your certificate to me on Canvas, and I'll see you tomorrow.